Good morning, operators. Stand by. Stand by. Coffee's hot, frequency's alive. 145.430. You're listening to the morning hum. This is the Coffee Break Net. Steam rising but the sunrise glow. Signals bouncing nice and low. Foothill light and silicon sky. Morning check-ins rolling by. Call sign ready, mic in hand. Voices drifting through the band. RF dancing in the air. Someone's mobile somewhere out there. Heat up, drop your sign. One at a time. You're sounding fine. Sip so don't rush the day. Net control will lead the way. Coffee on the console. Radio's awake. Morning on the machine. Give and take. Voices in the speaker, smooth and clean. So like riding on the beam. Checking out, don't hesitate. This is how we caffeinate. From the hills to the bay. W6EK Echo Kilo starts the day. Check in. AllStarLink been feeling strong. Echolink brings friends along. Mobile base or handheld tight. Everyone's sounding right. Morning traffic rolling through. Signal reports 5x2. Laughing in between the keys. Coffee cup and beeper R's. Mic drop, carry a tone. You're never really alone. One more round, take your place. Good vibes on the interface. Coffee on the console. Radio's awake. Morning on the machine. Give and take. Voices in the speaker, smooth and clean. Sunlight riding on the beam. Check it out. Don't hesitate. This is how we caffeinate. Morning voices, RF stream. Coffee break, live on the machine. Good morning, operators. Stand by. Coffee's hot. Frequency's alive. Good morning, operators. Stand by. Good morning. Voices. Stand by. Stand by. Good morning, operators. Stand by. Stand by. Good morning, operators. Stand by.
Hello everybody, good morning, and welcome to the Coffee Break Net on the W6EK Repeater, located in Auburn, California. the Coffee Break Net, where the sun is always shining, the birds are singing, and the fish are jumping. This net is sponsored by the Sierra Foothills Amateur Radio Club in Northern California. And we're here every day of the week from 7:30 to 10 a.m. Pacific Time. Please welcome your net control host and conversation facilitator for today's Coffee Break Net, Brian, AI6US. He's checking in from beautiful Meadow Vista, California. Let's get the Coffee Break Net underway.
Yes, indeed. Let's get the Coffee Break Net underway. Thank you, Mr. Bullwinkle. Pleasure to have you in the studio this morning. Please clean up after yourself, if you wouldn't mind. Today is April 7th. It is Tuesday, 2026, all day long. And let's see, let's go ahead and take a look at our national and international days before we take our first round of check-ins. And welcome, everybody. Today is National No Housework Day. I know for a lot of people, that's every day, but today's a special National No Housework Day. What would our lives be without Sesame Street, Nova, great performances, nature, PBS Hour, Frontline, Masterpiece Theater, Antiques Roadshow? You know what I'm talking about. Today is National Public Television Day. What would our lives be without public television? Let's see, today is Metric System Day. So let the arguments begin over what is the best way to measure something. Metric System Day. Here we go. I'll lift a pint to this one. Today is National Beer Day. What is your favorite beer? National Beer Day. And how will you celebrate it? Maybe with a coffee. Today is National Coffee Cake Day. I remember going to high school, and the cafeteria at the high school that I went to had the most delicious coffee cake every morning. And, today is International Snail Papers Day. Okay, let that sink in. International Snail Papers Day. This makes me feel old. When do they start calling newspapers snail papers? Do you still subscribe to snail papers? I don't think I've touched a newspaper in several years now. How about you? Hey, good morning. Coffee Break Net here on the W6EK Repeater and connected repeaters and nodes. Welcome, everybody. Let's go ahead and start out the morning with check-ins. I'm going to take check-ins from Northern California. So if you're located in Northern California, coming in through maybe a repeater or coming in through AllStar or Echolink, first part of this first round will be for the local Northern California folks. Who's out there this morning? KA6UAI. Good morning, Rocky. KC6SLE. Kilo, November 6, Whiskey, Quebec Uniform J, and 6WQ, Quebec.
N6CKV, good morning, Brian.
Kilo R66, Kilo Mike Romeo, over.
KI6 HFP.
All right. At least we found out where all the kerfuffles and doubles come from. Let me straighten out the Northern California group before we move on to the world at large. Good morning, WB1G, Smitty. Good morning to Robert, KO6KMR. And good morning, Carl, N6CKV. And good morning to Dan, KN6WQU. Good morning, Graydon, KEC6SLE. And good morning to Ron, KA6UAI. If I didn't hear you, you probably need to buy a bigger and better radio with more power or a taller antenna. Just kidding. Who did I miss?
Greg, KO6TH was in there.
And 6XYZ.
KI.
W6STW.
All right, at least one person got mercilessly stomped into the ground. I heard W6STW in there, and N6XYZ, and Greg KO6TH, and who was the other station? Recover your dignity now.
I tell you, I cannot time it. This is KI6HFP.
Oh no, you're timing it perfectly, right along with everybody else. KI6HFP, good morning to you. All right, let's head up to, let's find out first of all who's coming in through the internet, and we will add you to this list. So who's coming in from the internet for a quick in and out?
KJ5 Golf Whiskey November.
SM6XGP.
All right, we will add Tony. Good evening, afternoon to you there, Tony, SM6XGP, and good morning to Will, KJ5 Golf Whiskey November. All right, up to the top of the list. Let's respect each other's time and keep our check-ins short, under 2 minutes. That's a single flip of the soft egg timer. So let's head on up to the top. Good morning, Ron, KA6UAI.
KA6UAI. Well, it was interesting that you had that reminder right before I got on here, but thank you. I just wanted to mention that, cubits and palms and spans work pretty well for measuring, and you don't need the metric ruler for that as long as you know the conversion.
So how many cubits, how many millimeters in a cubit?
Well, I haven't checked that, but I know the inches in my standard span, 8 inches, and that's fairly consistent. I can find studs with 2 of those in the wall, and measured out lots of screens, and it's particularly useful for finding the center of a space. If you have equal spans, and once those thumbs cross, it's right there.
Yeah, I've heard you bragging about your span before. Well, very good. Glad that your span works for you. Well, good morning to you there, Ron. Yeah, we had to make that announcement somewhere, and if you get burned when you touch the burner, don't touch the burner. Have a good day, Ron.
Yeah, we're not going to touch any burners of any sort whatsoever to any portion of the hands or face. So we'll be careful. K6UAI. Everyone have a great Tuesday and rest of the week. It's T-Mobile Tuesday and Taco Tuesday, and everything else that starts with a T. So enjoy it. K6UAI 7:30.
All right, Ron. Have a wonderful Tuesday, however you choose to celebrate it. Good morning, Graydon, KC6SLE. Great to see you at the VE session last evening. Great turnout, and what a wonderful celebration. I'm going to be announcing the new amateur radio op and the upgrades here in a few minutes, but thank you so much for bringing the water and the cookies and being assigning VE last evening. Good morning.
Another great session. It was really good last night. You'll talk about it, but the amount of people that showed up at dinner was just phenomenal. We started with one table, added a second table, and then added a third table. So I'll let you speak to that. I want to see some of the items you mentioned. One of the notable things you left out of public broadcasting is this old house, one of my favorites. Favorite everyday beer is Modelo. I don't know why, but I have an affinity for Mexican beers. Metric system, unlike a lot of people, I like the metric system. Makes a lot of sense to me. Real quick tip, if you're working on a vehicle, you might find that if it's metric, it'll either be the odd metrics or the even metrics. They usually don't mix the two. Good example is my Jeep. It tends to be odd metrics. So if I reach down, I have a 19 millimeter bolt, I can count on the next one being 17 millimeter, 13 millimeter, etc.
And why is the 10 millimeter and 12 millimeter always missing from every metric set out there? Yes, no, I enjoy the metric system as well. It's especially if you're doing measurements, and it just makes sense instead of doing all these fractional conversions. But hey, we live in America. Model beer, yes, Lynn has been buying that lately, and it is a good refreshing. Going into the summer months, absolutely a good refreshing, clear that dryness right out of the mouth. Well, yes, last evening the turnout at the dinner was excellent. I'm trying to remember what the count was, but it probably was somewhere nearing 18 or more people. Great turnout, great food, and Thomas and Christina visiting from Tennessee dropped in and came over for our VE session for a little bit. Sure, great to see them. So, hey, back over to there. Good morning to Grady. Good morning to Lisa. And you have a wonderful day and have fun playing with your new chipper.
One serious QSD. There is a gentleman that used to live in Grass Valley named Lou Conter. If that name is familiar to you, he was the last survivor of the Arizona, and he passed away in 2024. He was a lieutenant at the time he was on the Arizona. He lived in Grass Valley. He passed away, like I said, in 2024. They renamed the Veterans Administration in Auburn, which is right around the corner from where we have our meetings now, after him. And there's going to be a special celebration. Frank might be able to talk to this because we talked a little bit about it at dinner last night, but there's going to be a special celebration at the VA in Auburn at 1 o'clock this Friday. So I just wanted to mention that if anybody is interested. Fascinating story. He was 103 when he passed away. KC6, SLE.
All right. Thank you for sharing that. And, definitely if people have more information about that, 1 p.m. this Friday, and dedication to that. So very cool. Graydon, you have a wonderful day. Thanks for checking in. KC6SLE, AI6US.
3, KC6, SLE.
Hey, good morning, Dan. KN6WQU.
Good morning, Brian and Annette. This is KN6WQ here. Thing goes back to school today, so I'm up a little early. Wish I wasn't, man. I got my rear end handed to me yesterday. Kind of a punt on what I had to do. I had to replace a front differential and the transfer case on this Trailblazer. Man, was it? I don't know what these guys are thinking. These guys that build these cars is unbelievable. The front differential, like, basically is attached to the oil pan on the engine of this car. So in order to get it out, I had to. We couldn't figure out how to get it out at first. I got it loose, but I couldn't get it out. I had to end up cutting the CV axle off of it too, because it basically, the idiot that owns it decided he was going to do donuts in an all-wheel drive vehicle. So that's the end of that. I had to replace the rear end and then the front differential and the transfer case. So note to self, don't ever do donuts in an all-wheel drive vehicle. Anyway, let's see, that's pretty much all I got. I got a couple of cancellations today so I can make up for the loss of work I had yesterday. I didn't get home until damn near 10 o'clock, so didn't get to bed until almost 11. And Dana was waiting for me because Heather's staying the night over at her mom is hanging out with her other daughter because she don't get to spend time with her. Anyway, that's all I got. I'm still looking for an amp. If anybody has an Aeratron AL80BG or AL80 period, would be great. This is KN6WQ.
He's tasted power and he wants more of it. All right. Well, Dan, I'll tell you one thing. I owned a Trailblazer back in the 90s, and I swore off I would never own another GM vehicle again. So it sounds like, well, maybe there's some Trailblazer owners out there that love them, but yeah, no. You have a wonderful day. Zane is back in school, and Heather is on the mend. Good to hear that life is kind of back to quasi-normal for you there. Dan, have a wonderful day. KN6WQU, AI6US 73.
Sure is, Brian. Thank you very much. Everybody have a great day. This is KN6WQ. I'm clear.
Good morning, Carl, N6CKV.
Good morning, Brian, and everyone else out there from N6CKV. Well, today I got to do a Sam's Club run, and I've got to start assembling some patio furniture that we just got yesterday. Got some lounge chairs, so we can enjoy our patio outside.
That's what I did last week. Ordered on Amazon and read the instructions. Some people said, oh yeah, it went right together. Others said, heck, never again. I took a roll of the dice, and it actually turned out to be a pretty easy assembly. So I hope it goes as easily for you as me. I just put a Fernie pad on top of the patio table and assembled all the chairs so I didn't have to bend over, and everything went together pretty darn good. I hope the same goes for you.
Oh, thank you for that, Brian. Yeah, it's going to go slow. They're lounge chairs, so they're a little bit bigger, harder to put on a table, but we've got a table to try it with. Other than that, not much going on at the old homestead. It's going to rain, so I have to wait until maybe next week before we do the weed eating. Anyway, back to you, Brian, and everyone have a good Tuesday. This is N6CKV. I'm going to say 73 and idle in.
Well, thank you very much. I'll pass that on to her, and good morning to Ruth. And yes, looks like we are going to have some weather coming in starting Friday through the weekend. So, yeah, I hopefully we'll get another good dousing of water out of it. Clearing within 6CKV, AI6US Coffee Break Net. Good morning, Robert, KO6KMR.
Well, good morning, sir, and all the gang here. Yesterday went to the dentist, had a good report there, and today we have the opportunity to go to the actual doctor, physician, and go for our 3-month annual checkup, and shouldn't have any problem, no issues for either one of us, and which is always good to say. And after that, I go to the gym, and after that, I'm going to do my CW practice and get that under my belt. And yesterday I did measure out from my mast to where I've got my home outfit. I was going to put my transceiver, and got that all measured out. I'm going to redo the measurements just to make sure. And then Friday, Kim Bailey, one of the Elmers that I've been working with, is going to come over. We're going to discuss what kind of cable coax I need, and then go and buy some, and then start going through the attic and putting it in. Over.
Boy, you have your day all planned out, and it sounds like a good game plan for getting that station on the air. Now's as good a time as any. I'm just going to quickly mention that some of the folks that were in your extra class, of course, you took your exam a little earlier, but Sam, K6LGU, and Mike, K06JQW, Marty, K06GXX, and Gerry KO6KLC, who were all in your class, are now amateur extras as well. So you're in good company.
That's absolutely wonderful. I'm glad you did that. I failed to get anybody's email in the class, and I was just curious when they mentioned about the VE test. But I appreciate you letting me know that was a great group. Over.
Yep, we hear many great things about that class, and people that come out of it. I mean, I saw some pretty darn good scores last night. And of course, it isn't always about the excellent score on these amateur radio exams. It's what you walk away with knowledge-wise, but you could tell they were prepared for it. So there we go. And I know that Smitty had posted up on Facebook the call signs of the folks that got their upgrades, and so you can look there if you want to be refreshed on the names and call sign. Robert, have a wonderful day. Happy Tuesday. Am I clear with Robert? I must be. Hey, good morning, Smitty. WB1G, thank you for being a signing VE last evening, and what a great dinner and a great VE session. Good morning to you, and thank you for posting up that list of we had 6 for 6 last night, one brand new tech. Maybe you want to just kind of tell us who that tech is, what makes that new tech special.
I'll tell you what, I owe that new tech a new radio, because I promised that new tech. Probably one of the hardest working young hams I have seen. This is his second time coming to the session, and could not give up Maxim, our brand new technician. Gosh, Brian, you're going to have to help me. How old is Maxim?
Maxim is 10 years old, and now his whole family are licensed. So his mom went out between last session and this one, and she studied for a few days, got her technician. His dad, of course, is licensed, and now Maxim, 10 years old. And we did give him an HT last evening. This is the second HT that he's got from our club.
Oh, that is so funny. Okay, I was still in reading the rest of the folks that were taking their tests, so I didn't get to talk to his dad and get to talk to him after. But yeah, 10 years old, that kid would not give up. Got his ticket. Very exciting. I'll tell you what, Brian, I wish I had the camera at the ready when I graded his exam. The look on that kid's face, he lit up like a Christmas tree. Absolutely no doubt about it. So probably one of the more rewarding, I'm tongue-tied this morning, rewarding experiences as a VE, even as an Elmer. It's a fun program to watch people break through and put that work in and then get their license, and that sense of just accomplishment, and that I call it that big grin, that big pride grin. So really proud of Maxim. So you gave him an HT. Well, does that mean I'm off the hook, or do I have to give him an HT too? I purposely baited him last time and said, hey, if you come back, I'm going to give you a new radio. But then you went behind my back and gave him a new radio. So does that mean I'm in the clear?
That's between you and your maker. No, you're so right. One of the most rewarding things in amateur radio for myself personally is being involved with the VE program and the energy that comes off of folks as they get their license or get their upgrade, that you get to participate in that every month. It is, it just gives you a boost in this hobby, and it's what a great way to contribute and give back into the hobby as well. But yeah, big turnout last night and we were 6 for 6. And I have one more name to mention, Gerry, KO6MSP, upgraded to General. So we have 4 new extras, 1 new General, and a new technician. And we captured some of that happiness on Maxim we got a picture of Maxim and his dad posing with his score on the pad, and he was excited. And we captured that, but we need to get his dad's permission before we publish that photo.
Of course, yeah, absolutely. And I know I'll keep it short. You got quite the lineup, so we'll keep it to the true spirit of an in and out. I heard you out there calling. I figured I'd jump in and say good morning and hello. On the agenda in the world of amateur radio, Brian, I need to figure out why our website and our Groups I.O. calendar seem to no longer be in sync. Quack, 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 quack. Always a curveball, always some excitement. Yeah, I mean, they're configured, they're set up, just like they have been for the last 3 years, but you know how software is. Something got updated and something broke. Yeah, so the calendar, it's good, folks. Don't worry. We got our calendar out there, but there may be some rogue events that are out there that just decide to hang out.
Very good. Well, we look forward to many events coming up. Of course, just about a month away, we're going to be having Donuts and Coffee in the Park. Of course, we're starting planning for the biggest event of the year, which is Field Day, coming up the last weekend of June. And then, of course, the big camp out. Anybody planning on going on our camp out, don't want to rush this too quickly, but if you want to get a good camping spot, probably now's the time to go reserve your camping spot for the camp out at Stampede. That information is on W6EK.org. So, Smitty, thank you for putting that information in there, and I got my RSVP up last evening.
I saw it. I'm impressed with your diligence in getting that in. Yeah, it's I don't want to overstate it or oversell. There's still plenty of space, so don't feel like you can't find a spot. But this year, I will say it has booked quicker. And so if you want to be closer to like the base camp area, now's a pretty good time to reserve your spot. But fair to say that even if you're not close to base camp, it doesn't matter. Both loops are super close. We got a full-blown repeater system that's set up. We make announcements on the radio as when meals are coming and all that. It is a well-polished machine. So I think a couple of years ago, Rob was on the other side of the entire camp out. He was antisocial. KM6YKX wanted nothing to do with us. He was like a mile away, far, far, far away, and he still came to the meals. So you don't have to be next to us to enjoy the weekend. That's how we roll. WB1G, back to you, Brian. Have a good morning.
All right, and I believe we had a comment before I let you go there, Smitty. Comment, go. Okay, well, somebody wanted to make a comment and then maybe thought better of that, knowing that it's both you and I on here. Have a great day, Smitty. Thank you for everything you do for the club, and we are looking forward to some great fun activities this summer. WB1G, AI6US. This is the Coffee Break Net on the W6EK Repeater. Good morning, Greg, KO6TH. Thank you for being in Elmer last evening. Great dinner at Happy Walk, and then a great turnout. Boy, we had a wonderful time last evening. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian. Good morning, everyone. Greg, KO6TH, just about to head out the door to do a boat day today, so looking forward to that. Yeah, last night was fantastic. Great dinner, lots of good conversation. And good to see Christina and Thomas again. Stopped by, and yeah, so it's a great evening. Closing the I guess the novel, the book, whatever. One of the original members that was Elmered back I don't know when it was. It over a year ago, I guess. Michael is now an extra. And so I've known him since he first started, and now he's got all the way to extra. So that was a good thing to see. So yay! Anyway, I got to get going. We'll talk to you guys later, and have a good day. KO6TH.
All right, beat the traffic over to the bay, and good luck working on the sailboat today. So, yeah, definitely good. Thanks for being there last evening, and yeah, how rewarding. We've seen Michael come through from a tech, then he came in for a general, and then last night for an extra, and now he's interested in possibly going to be a VE. So, great to see that progression. KO6TH, AI6US, you have a wonderful day, 7-3.
7-3, Brian, taking a deep breath, going to burn, what, $40+ worth of dinosaur squeezings, as they call them, and head down to the boat. KO6TH, 7-3.
Yep, looked at my gas gauge and realized that probably my next trip down to Auburn is going to be a fill-up on the truck, and this time it will be well over $200 to fill the tank. Ouch. Good morning, Rob. N6XYZ, welcome back to town. Oh, glad I didn't get too flowery on that. Throw over to Rob. N6XYZ, are you still there?
Just getting in my truck. Good timing. I had three things. So 3 things under 3. You started off, it totally reminded me of Wally the Moose from Vacation. Second, Sesame Street, the early seasons, if you were to get them on DVD for your kid, they come with a warning label.
Just one warning label? 1. 2. 3.
Oh, that's good. And the last one was, I heard the Swedes got a new prime minister. He'll be getting his cabinet together pretty soon. Oh, I messed that one up because he's the old CEO of IKEA.
I kind of knew that joke just from the announcement, but yes, the ex-IKEA chairman, I believe he was, is now the prime minister. He's putting together his cabinet. I hope he has all the pieces necessary. Well, Rob, you missed a great ham fest, but thank you so much for your willingness to participate. Sorry that life got in the way of you being able to be there, but there's always a next year. But good morning to you.
That there is. Well, I think I put it under 3, so I'll let you get on with the rest. We'll talk to you later. N6XYZ.
All right, Rob, you have a wonderful day. Clearing within 6XYZ. Good morning, Maurice, W6STW.
I drove up to Pollock Pines yesterday for my new RV spot, and I've also been playing with my new Yaesu radio. And last but not least, gasoline is about $2 cheaper in Arizona.
Yeah, but you live in Arizona. I know. There's some nice places in Arizona. I spent summers growing up going down to Lake Havasu where my dad was living. And there are some benefits once you get in the pool or get on the lake. So you've moved, have you moved up to your new RV spot in Placerville?
Yeah, I'm in Pollock Pines right now at the Gold Mountain RV Park. And as for Arizona, my home base is near Las Vegas. I just spend the winters in Arizona because it's warmer.
And if you stayed there in the summer, it'd even be warmer yet. Very good. RV spot in Pollock Pines, and you have a strong, beautiful signal coming in from your location there. Well, probably going to be a little cooler this summer than spending it down in Wilton.
It's usually cooler up here, but you never know with the weather nowadays. W6 STW.
All right. New home base up in Pollock Pines. So you have a wonderful day, Maurice, and we'll check in with you later on. Clearing with W6STW. Good morning to Chris, KI6HFP.
Good morning to you in the net. I don't think my coffee hit quite yet, and I think I checked into the quick in and out when I was planning on checking into the rag chew, so if that's the case, if you're able to just move me down the list, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, I'll come right back to you. I was going to do one more call for quick in and outs before we go to rag chew, but I will mark you here to come back to you in just a few minutes then. So very good. We'll be back in a moment there, Chris. Clearing with KI6HFP. Let's go ahead and check in with Will, KJ5 Golf Whiskey November. Good morning to you, Will, Oklahoma City.
Good morning, Brian. I'm excited because I am getting a new-to-me HF rig. Yes, you heard me correctly, a new-to-me HF rig. My first HF rig. I am getting a Kenwood TS570S. The TS590's little brother, as I'm being. It's got all the voice chips in it that I need for frequency allocations, that kind of thing. And looking forward to getting it and getting on the air, getting on 10 meters, and seeing what, how many contacts I can make with a center-fed dipole in 10-meter indoor antenna. So anyway, that ought to be fun. Anyway, back over to you, Brian. This is KJ5 Golf Whiskey November.
Well, good to hear that that radio is arriving, and yeah, I think you'll still have a couple more years of good propagation for 10 meters before it just goes to a locals only thing. That will give you a little time to get your maybe an upgrade so you can get onto bands that will stay active, into the lower solar cycle months. So, hey, congratulations to you on that. Glad to hear that it came with the voice chip and all. Sounds like you're good to go. Just be careful how close you put those wires when you're running 100 watts. Don't want you to cook your hot dog.
Well, I'm going to try and run it at either 50 or 75 watts. I'm not going to run the full 100 there, Brian. Go ahead, KJ5 Golf Whiskey November.
Well, there's some good calculators out there, and all of us as amateur radio operators should know what our RF field strength is, so we don't eradicate or turn ourselves into sterile centipedes. But yeah, I don't think it's going to make that big difference between 50 and 100 watts, but the calculator will tell. Just try keeping that wire as far away from you as possible. But very good. Looking forward to maybe getting you in my HF log. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't do the FP8 or anything like that. I don't have the capability to do that. So it will primarily be 10-meter voice, the 28.3 to 28.5 range. So anyway, that's when I'll be hanging out talking, and then we'll see what else happens. This is KJ5 Golf Whiskey November. Back to you.
Yep, there's quite a bit of activity, especially, sometimes in the mornings we'll open to Europe. Pretty much at this time in the solar cycle, it's continental U.S. throughout the daylight hours, and openings into the early and late afternoon in South America. Then it swings around, and probably you there in your area will be treated into the Oceania, probably South Pacific. You'll get occasional openings there as well. So I think you have a lot of opportunities to make some good contacts over the next couple of years during the start of the decline of the solar cycle. But very cool. Congratulations. Enjoy that new to you radio.
Thanks, Brian. I will. This is KJ5, Golf Whiskey November. We're clear and listening.
All right, Will. You have a wonderful day, and glad to hear the new toy is arriving. I hope it all works great for you. KJ5GWN AI62S. Let's head on over and celebrate the new Swedish Prime Minister. Got a chuckle out of me, who's assembling his cabinet right now. Good morning, Tony. SM6XGP. Uh-oh, maybe we caught Tony in his commute. Sierra Mike 6, X-Ray Golf Papa. Are you still there, Tony? I bet you we caught him in the commute. He is going home from work, probably right about now in Sweden, so maybe we'll check in later on. All right, I'm going to do one more call here, let's see, for quick in and outs, and then we'll hop on back and visit with Chris for a few minutes. So anybody else out there want a quick in and out as you're starting your morning?
Hey, W6LUV, good morning, Brian.
W2VX.
Good morning. You're a KC8, Fox Plane, Victor Mark. KC8FQV.
KM6MDM. Good morning, Brian.
Whiskey 6, Oscar Mike.
All right, going to need a little help there. I'm a couple people piled in there on top of each other. Good morning, Charlie, W6SOM. Good morning to Sam, K4LGI. And then I heard a Kilo Mike 6 station. Didn't catch your full call. You were stomped on. I heard KC8FQV. Good morning, Mark. And KB6SSN. Rattle that mic cable. I could barely hear you were there, but you were there. And good morning, Doug, W2VX. The KM6 station. Full call, please.
Kilo Mike 6, Mike Delta Mike. Good morning, Brian.
All right, good morning, Brian. KM6MDM. And let's work down through. Did I miss anyone before I start down this list?
K6LU. Good morning. In Roseville.
Well, that was her kerfuffle. We will just try that again. K6 DCL. Good morning, Dave. I pulled you out of there. And then somebody in Roseville.
Alpha Kilo 6, Sierra Queen, Jeff.
WU6 Portable.
KB6LUV, Brett. Good morning.
All right, I have KB6LUV up at the top of the list. But good morning there, Dennis, WU6X. Good morning to Jeff, AK6SQ. Good morning, Dave, K6DCL. And did I miss anyone on these quick in and outs? All right, I'm going to catch the portable before he drives out of range, because, you know, we all have seen the antenna on his vehicle. He's going to be out of range real fast. W6EK, good morning, Dennis. Anything for the net today?
Just out for a walk, and hopefully I'm making the machine. Just say good morning to you, Brian. W6EK.
I wouldn't have thought you were out walking. Nice, clean, full quieting signal into the repeater. So, good morning, Dennis. Any amateur radio activities lately? Guess we will never know. Good morning, Dennis. You have a wonderful day. All right, let's go up to the top of the list. KB6LUV. Good morning, Brett.
Good morning, Brian and Coffee Break Net land. Sorry, I checked in twice. You didn't hear my call sign in your list of folks that you caught, so all good. Thank you very much for catching me. Good morning, everybody in Coffee Break Net land. It is a beautiful Tuesday morning here in South Natomas. That big orange ball is in the sky, and there's no clouds, so it's going to be a gorgeous day here. I'm looking forward to just doing my normal recruitment stuff. Actually, last night I had a successful 10.5-hour 3D print.
Well, that could either be a very small object with a lot of resolution or something that almost fell over. What did you print?
I printed a Native American flute in the key of D minor.
And how does your flute play? Or are you going to have to reprint?
I actually still need to print the bird, which is the piece that goes on the top of the flute to cause the whistling. So I need to print that, and then I need to glue the two pieces together. So that'll be over the next day or so.
I don't know, I'm kind of disappointed. I pictured you as more of a guy who would print a recorder. Remember those from first and second grade?
Boy, do I. I actually went to the Suzuki School of Music where they taught piano and recorder. So yes, I had one of those. To that end, I will say good morning to my mom, Bonnie in Newton, Kansas, who is responsible for getting me into music. Yeah, I'm not the recorder guy. I can play the recorder. I'm one of those persons that can pick up almost any instrument and figure it out. So, anywho, quick in and out. So, I hope everybody out there is going to have an amazing day. You as well, Brian. I will say also good morning to my grandson, Jordan, who is probably up and for school. And again, everybody else, have a great day. Everybody out there, be blessed. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And I will say KB6LUV, be of love. 73, clear and listening.
Yeah, I'm quite similar to you. I can pick up about any instrument as well, but this is where we kind of diverge. I am quickly asked to put down the instrument where you excel at playing it. Have a great day, Brett, and good morning to Bonnie in Kansas. KB6LUV, AI6US. Good morning, Doug. Good to see you last evening at the Elmer VE session. Good morning. What do you have for the net?
Good morning, Brian, and everybody else. W2VX, Doug here in Never Neverland. Just, getting ready to put on my bicycle shoes, my helmet, my gloves. I'm going to head down to the river and have some fun. And I'll take my radio with me, just in case I need it.
Oh, please tell me that you're not one of those guys that wear the skin-tight Lycra.
I've never really thought about it, but that would be pretty cool. I can just see me zooming down, down the hill in my Lycra. I would have to find some that was like, black with silver stripes or something like that. That would be really cool.
The next thing we know, you're going to be shaving and using Nair everywhere. Don't embrace this bicycle thing too strongly. You have a wonderful bike ride. What a beautiful day to be out and about.
Yeah, I looked at the thermometer on the back porch. It said 52 degrees, and I generally like it to warm up to about 60, but you know what? I can probably just put on a little warmer skull cap underneath my helmet, and I think I'll be fine. Everybody have a great day. Be careful out there, and it was good to see everybody at the test-taking fest. 7-3.
You brought in a egg beater antenna that you had made for satellite work, and as always, very well crafted. And I look forward to maybe here. I guess the question is, wonderful antenna. Have you made a contact yet?
I did. I used to make contacts with people working the ISS repeater, 2-meter repeater. So that was fun, and that's all I did it for. And now I'm done with it, and so it's a thing. You know, I have a long attention span. 7-3.
Yeah, a very, very neat design, very well built, and yeah, you built it, you tried it, it worked, and time to find the new shiny penny. I'll throw a couple on the ground for you. Doug, you have a wonderful day. Thanks for checking in, and have a great bike ride, and good morning to Teresa. W6EK AI6US Coffee Break Net. And good morning, Tom, KB6SSN.
Well, good morning, Brian, KB6SSN. Is this better?
I don't know. Is it better? I can hear you. Is that better? Well, I'm sure it's debatable, but in any case, the microphone's working better. Oh, let's see. Bike riding. I don't know why, but the tight lycra comments made me think of a friend of mine who was a marathon runner. I haven't seen him in 20, 30 years, but he was a marathon runner. He liked, nothing big. He entered these marathons. But what I learned from him is before they ran, they had to place tape and Band-Aids in strategic places on their body because 26 miles of running the clothing would wear on those places and rub them raw. So, I've never considered that until I met him, so I thought that was funny. Brett made me jealous as heck. I am the world's greatest mediocre trumpet player. A French horn, baritone, sousaphone, that type of thing. But I am as mediocre as they come. So when I meet somebody who can pick up anything and figure it out, that just that makes me green with envy. And the answer to your question, by the way, is 457. Oh, I've asked so many questions today. 457. Let me think what we've talked about. I have no clue. Help me out here.
Well, although throughout history the cubit has been defined at different lengths, depending on the different lengths of people's arm, it's the measurement from the elbow to the tip of the middle finger for whoever is the master builder. It has been standardized in modern times to be 18 inches to a cubit, and 18 inches is just a hair over 457 millimeters.
Oh, yeah, I did ask that question, kind of in a snarky way. Thank you. That will come in handy in one of my conversions when somebody yells down, "Give me a 2x4 that's 4 cubits in length." Thank you. I appreciate it. You reached deep into the satchel of knowledge for that one. Thank you.
Well, it got me curious, so I did a little bit of research on it here while I was waiting, and also discovered that the Egyptian cubit was quite a bit longer, 533 millimeters, and the Roman cubit was a little shorter, 444 millimeters. So somebody in Egypt had very long arms. They were very tall, or they had arms like an ape. One or the other, I'm not sure which. But in any case, yeah. Now to confuse things even more, in the Egyptian world, ancient Egyptian world, a cubit was 6 palms or 2 spans. I can figure out what a palm is. I just haven't been able to lay a brain cell on what a span is yet, but I'm working on it. KB6SSN73, have a great day.
I'm sure in the great Google journals of info that information exists. Let us know how many millimeters to a span. I'm sure it will come in handy on one of my projects here. All right, have a wonderful day, Tom. Enjoy the beautiful weather, and we'll talk again soon. KB6SSN, AI6US. Good morning, Mark. KC8FQV. How many qubits to walk out to your mailbox?
Morning, KCFQV. No, I haven't walked out there yet. I was going to go get the paper, but I didn't do that. So that comes early. Mail, we never know when it comes. Yeah, the mail is like going to Las Vegas because you never know when it comes. So, yeah, I don't think the government was supposed to be gambling, but you gamble with the government, I guess. But yeah, went to Sky One last night for their trading. Good. And yeah, trying to get into these sites or try to do something. It's like going through Fort Knox just about. You know, you gotta do this. Then you log in, but then you get the verification code. You know, that's great. Then they say, hey, you want to set it up this way, then you don't got to do that. They're idiots. Why are we setting it up so that we have these two-factor authentication? They say, oh, you can set it up and we'll recognize your device, or, hey, you can use your fingerprint, or, hey, we can do this. Come on, people. It's just, our life is becoming a joke. So, other than that, yeah, I'm trying to get logged in. You need about 6 computers, and you got to try to keep them all straight so you know which one you're doing something with. The other one's going to tell you this is what you need to get to this step. It's a jigsaw puzzle to get in. Yeah, a jigsaw puzzle to get into these things. And you got to have a jigsaw puzzle to get into the jigsaw puzzle. So I'll send it back, KSFQV.
Yeah, the authentication process can get a little frustrating once in a while. And then, once you authenticate and then you go over to another computer, then you authenticate on it and it doesn't recognize it on your primary anymore. Yeah, it's an interesting world we live in, and I avoid the multiple form two-factor authentication like a plague. Mark, you have a wonderful day ahead, and don't get too frustrated with the security because it certainly doesn't discourage the hackers. KC8FQV, AI6US. Happy Tuesday.
Oh, I don't mind the two-factor authentication. That's great. It's just that when you do some of them, the system says, hey, you can do, and we can make an enhancement to it. So, KCFQV 73.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not using the facial recognition, not using the fingerprint. I'm sure maybe at some point, but I don't know. It's just, they want more and more of our personal information to validate that we are real. And, pretty soon they will be asking for a stool sample, I'm sure. KC8FQV. I guess they already are, aren't they, the health system? KC8FQV, AI6US. And then Brian says, what the heck did I check into this morning? KM6MDM. Good morning, Brian.
Yeah, KM6MDM. Good morning, Brian. I was wondering the same thing. Interesting conversation, but good morning. Sun is shining. I just wanted to do a quick in and out, say hi to everybody. Hope you all are having a nice morning. So that's all I have, Brian. Nothing for the net this morning. KM6MDM.
All right, Brian. Well, you have a wonderful day. Yeah, just appreciate you stopping by, and good to hear you on the radio again. Hope all is well. KM6MDM, AI6US Coffee Break Net. Let's head on over to Denver. Good morning, Sam. K4LGI.
Good morning, Brian. Everybody, Annette here from Denver. About 40 degrees. I may be stopping by in the morning a little more often here. Yesterday I got locked out. There's a lot of dropout around here, and I couldn't come back the day after I checked in. And not too much happening here. Those earbuds have been knocking my hearing down, so I probably avoid those. It's a lot more pleasant to listen on earbuds or earphones. That's about it from here, Brian. Have a nice day. Everybody, K4LGI. Thank you.
I was helping last year set my hearing aids up to Bluetooth so he could connect directly up to the television, and he's really enjoyed that now that he doesn't have to strap on a set of headphones over the top of the hearing aids and everything. So I was wondering, are your hearing devices Bluetooth enabled? I guess my dad is just absolutely loving it, though sometimes he's not sure if it's his phone ringing or something on the TV.
Well, Brian, it's a little bit concerning. I was hearing at about almost 20,000, 18 to 20,000, very good. And about a month or two, whatever, it went down to about 9 or 10,000. So I hear okay, it's just the earbuds I've been told about. And they say you can get away from it for 2 or 3 months and hearing it come back. So I have good hearing, but these things today are kind of, you got to be careful with them, I guess. You can turn them up too loud. So that's about it, K4LGI.
Yeah, that would be very alarming, wouldn't it? But I'm glad to hear that some of that range is returning. Have a wonderful day, Sam, and great to have you stop by this morning. K4LGI, AI6US Coffee Break. And good morning to Charlie, W6SOM.
This is Whiskey 6 here, Oscar Mike. Just want to say good morning to everybody on the net, and hoping everybody's having a great Easter season. Nice to be celebrating after Lent.
So what are you enjoying having again? Is it proper? I don't even know this. Is it even proper for me to even ask you what you gave up for Lent?
It's not improper. I don't think it's a normal conversation, but not a big deal. We gave up meat for Lent, so we're having bacon, and it's lovely, and we're having a great time.
May not be proper, but Brian does it. Well, welcome back to bacon. Oh, yes, a life without bacon. That is called Lent. Well, welcome back. Enjoy.
Thank you very much. I'll let you get on to the next person. Whiskey 6 here, Oscar Mike.
All right, Charlie, you have a wonderful day. W6SOM, AI6US. And good morning, Dave, K6DCL.
Good morning, Brian and Annette. K6DCL here with Lucy nibbling on her last biscotti. We have to run down to Costco because we couldn't do it yesterday. So I have to run down to Costco, and we usually buy 3 or 4 boxes, so we last. And because we have to go all the way down to Riverbank to go to Costco, which is a lot closer than going to the Costco in Modesto. Anyway, it's a beautiful day here, and just sunny skies, and going to be a very, very nice day. Yesterday it seemed a little bit cool when we were leaving someplace yesterday. We were in a very horrendous pre-ops for a procedure next Tuesday, and it took 3 hours to go through the hospital pre-op, and then another hour to get through the doctor's primary. Nothing was quick. Let me put it that way. Nothing was quick. So anyway, we got through that grueling thing. We hadn't had anything to eat all day, except for our biscotti at 7:30 in the morning, 8 o'clock. And so we went to our favorite Olive Garden and had dinner. But we didn't get home until 7 o'clock. So we were there from 11 until 7. We were out and about. And just crazy stuff anyway. The doctor's office, the PA said, I'm not sure why we have this for you, because we actually have everything and we're ready to go. Well, I'm ready to go, so why am I here? So we said adieu and came home. Or went to supper first and then came home. What a day, I tell you. Well, anyway, K6DCL. Back to you, Brian.
Well, Glenn, sounds like you had a busy day, but glad to hear that you made it home safe and sound and enjoying a relaxing morning together. Yeah, absolutely beautiful weather to be out and about. Yesterday I had some errands to run throughout the day, and just, I love springtime in Northern California. Well, good morning to you. Good morning to Lucy, and you have a wonderful day ahead, and hopefully this procedure is not too invasive. It's very invasive when they make you not eat before the test. Maybe that's the worst part of it. I hope. Have a great day, Dave. Always a pleasure. And, well, you're at Costco. Stay away from that deli section. They sucker me in with that one. 7-3.
That's the truth. It suckers me into, I don't know, gotta stay. But anyway, talk to you later. 7-3. I finally got my adapter to be able to use my FTDX10 with my ICOM 730. Oh, 730. Yeah, that's what it is. 730 auto tuner. So I got to get that hooked up. K6DCL. See you later.
Quick question before I let you go. Boy, that was ordered a long time ago. Did it get lost in shipping? Did they have to ship you a new one? What? Because I think that was ordered a few weeks ago.
Yeah, it was, and wasn't the guy that made the adapter. I know Dan, and I've used his stuff before, so I'm very confident this is going to work. But it was the delivery people. UPS, USPS is not doing very well. They claim the snowstorm back east delayed everything, and so it was the blame it on USPS, not the guy that made it. Anyway. I don't know what to do about it, because they all claim, it's not our fault, it's the snow. K6DCL.
Yep, I had a package, well, I had ordered a Surface computer for a club check-in, and got it off of eBay, shipped it quite promptly the next day, and it came to Sacramento 3 days later. Great, good, fast service. Then I went to Stockton and sat in Stockton for over a week, and no explanation, none whatsoever. It was one of those UPS to USPS handoffs, and it didn't get handed off. Frustrating as heck, and of course everybody's pointing at each other, and the seller goes, well, I'll look into it. It arrived after 20 days. I hope it had a great vacation. Dave, have a wonderful day. K6DCLAI6US. Enjoy that Yaesu to ICOM tuner conversion. Hope that works well for you. 7-3. Good morning to Lucy. Good morning, Jeff, AK6SQ. Thank you for the wait. Good morning. What do you have for the net?
Good morning, Brian. Good morning, Coffee Break Net, or we could call it the Coffee Cake Net, at least for today, as it's Coffee Cake Day. This is Jeff on the beautiful back porch in Old Roseville, AK6SQ. Not much for the net. I've got a big week ahead of us. Amanda is going in for her surgery tomorrow. Coraline just went back to school today. She is ready and raring to go. Pretty much sprinted away from me the moment the gates opened, which I'm happy to see. As long as she's happy, I'm happy for what that's worth. Going to be touching up this old dual band antenna here to get it weatherproofed and ready to go when I get ready for my big install coming up sometime in the next week and a half. And besides that, just a little bits of odds and ends. Back to you.
Well, spring break is over, and now it sounds like with your wife going in for surgery and then the recuperation time, it looks like you're going to have your life is cut out for you in the next week or so. So good luck to you on that. Well, good morning to you. Good luck with your antenna. You got all the supplies now and ready to go?
No, we're not quite there yet. I am waiting on coordinating with a local ham, that same aforementioned Kim Bailey. I think it's K6BSY. No, no, that's not it. It's KM6LT. There we go. I'm pretty sure that's it. KM6LT will be also coordinating with me to help me get some coax ready to go, and that's pretty much all we're waiting for. Coax and some wire. We're going to do a dual band up on an antenna mast attached to my chimney, I'm assuming, as long as we'll go to the chimney if we can get, and if we have enough coax. If we don't, then we'll bring it down to a little dish mount that's on the side of the house to run it, and then got a little dipole ballon that we'll be running, and running the off-center fed dipole, the long end into the backyard and the front end into the front yard, and yeah, it's going to be a whole day thing. Back to you.
Well, something I learned about chimneys in Sacramento, they're pretty much, unless it was built before 1960, they're facades of a chimney. So be careful. They're basically a facade. There's hardly any structural integrity to a chimney stack in this area. So be very careful. Things that look very robust and stucco covered are just a 2x4 on each corner with some cross bracing, not much more. So be very leery of doing a single point mount on that. Maybe a strap around the entirety, a strap around a chimney spreads out the loading. But yeah, just be careful of how much truss you put in a chimney in Sacramento.
Thank you very much for the warning. I will definitely be very careful. This chimney was built in 1952, so we're at least in a good range for some good quality craftsmanship. And the plan for me was, yes, to do a dual band to antenna mast mount across the entire chimney. I think that'd probably be the best and most solid, since we're hanging the dual band and the ballon off of it.
Sounds like you have a plan. And yeah, if it is a brick chimney, make sure that you put a good L on the corner where the strap wraps around. Once again, to spread it over multiple bricks. I used to do satellite installation work, and chimneys just look like a good solid mount, but not always. Mortar breaks down, or there's nothing behind the stucco. Sometimes just chicken wire and maybe a little foam board, but very good. Hey, you got a plan, and I hope everything goes together well. And don't forget that your wife is recuperating while you're up there working on that antenna.
the plan is definitely for her to be in full recovery mode before initiating the installation. So, thank you very much. I appreciate the help. That's really good. You should be over here, Brian, and not Kim. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, you all have a wonderful day. This is AK6SQ wishing you all a wonderful day. I'll be clear and monitoring. Back to net.
Oh, I have been lured out to help on antenna projects. It's always fun to do if I have the time. Jeff, you have a wonderful day. AK6SQ, AI6US. All right, that brings us down to the bottom of the list. So let's loop back up to the top. KI6HFP. Chris, you wanted to have a little rag chew time, so we're into that section now. Good morning. What do you have for the net this morning? And how did I think you were going to be doing a install yesterday on your auto.
Yes, good morning. Man, you just brought back memories from just yesterday. I already tried to forget about it. I've come to the conclusion any vehicle 2015 or newer I am no longer attempting to run a power wire for, because this 2024 Ford Edge, tested my patience. Pretty sure I invented a few new words in the process and got nice and cut up, but it's done. And I got the FTM 400 in there, super excited. It's all working pretty good. Trying to find a cover for the faceplate of this radio so it doesn't bake in the sun on the RAM mount, and I can't find it. I am sitting here, fired up AutoCAD, and I'm designing one up right now while listening to the net.
Very cool. 3D print then that will just lay over the top and yeah, I'm kind of looking at mine here on the desk. It depends how you have it mounted, but or what you need access to. But yeah, just a few little odd shapes here and there, but it looks like it might be a pretty straightforward print. Just make sure you choose your materials. I don't want that material to melt all over the face of your FTM 400.
Yeah, I pretty much exclusively print in PETG, carbon fiber, or ABS. So, and yeah, this is it's going to be a full faceplate cover for when I'm actually not in the vehicle. That way, it doesn't get direct sun screen.
Yeah, no faster way to cause the screen to deteriorate. Very cool. Well, and I'm sure that's a print that probably would be appreciated by many others out there. Many of us have the 400s, and I know a lot of them are in vehicles, so it might be a nice one to throw into the library. Well, what was the challenge on the Ford Edge? Was it the source of power, firewall penetration? What were you up against?
Oh, a whole lot of this and that. Absolutely zero room in that engine bay and up underneath the dash. I don't even think my 8-year-old kid's arms could fit in there. I had to borrow one of my dad's super long, skinny flathead screwdrivers and electrical tape, a coat hanger to it, just to reach the firewall grommet. And you know, they make these cars more and more compact to save mileage, and I won't complain about it most of the time because I get about 30 miles a gallon in this car. But just to do something as simple as running a power wire like on my old Dodge Ram, that took me 15 minutes. Didn't even have to disconnect the battery on this car. The air cleaner had to come out, battery had to come out, battery tray had to come out, had to disconnect half a dozen sensors, and even then, I got maybe about 1.5 inches of room to reach back there to the firewall grommet. But it's done, and that wire is never coming out. If I sell this car, it's staying with it.
Okay, I'm going to judge how big a cojones you have. Did you drill a hole for your NMO?
I did not drill a hole yet. I would like to do a permanent mount on the roof. I just have zero experience doing an NMO mount, so right now I'm using one of the OPEC ones that it slides over like the trunk, or a lot of people use them on their hood, and it has the set screws. And I was going to go to HRO and buy some shielding and some grounding shield and run that to a bolt. But yes, preferably in the next few months, I'd like to get an NMO mount and clear up the rear hatch for installing some HF mobile antennas.
Sounds like a great plan. Yeah, I have a F350, and I adapted one of the hatch mounts like you described, and used it on my hood, and very secure, very happy with the location. Of course, it is either right in front of the driver on the cowl, on the fender hood mount there, or when I have a cab over camper, then I just switch over to an NMO that's up on top of the camper. So, yeah, we all have our unique situations, but that firewall doesn't sound fun at all. Of course, the big question is, this starts an argument everywhere. How did you get your power? And, it's not the same old answer, isn't the same anymore. Everybody goes, oh, you run it right to the battery. Well, on some new vehicles, you cannot do that. So what did you have to do to get source your power?
I ran into that with the Dodge I had. It had an E-Torque giant alternator / motor on the top of the engine that was used to, it was a 1500, but it had the pulling capacity of a 2500 because of that, and I wasn't allowed to tap directly into the battery for that car, so I had to come up with a different solution. From my research, I don't see, with the car that I have now, I didn't come across any statements saying that tapping directly into the battery was bad. And I called Ford, and they said it should be fine. So I just made sure that, because on these newer cars, they like to have some sensors and relays right off the battery posts of the main leads going to the battery. So I just made sure that where I had my positive and negative going to the battery, that they weren't directly connected to any of those relays that they had dangling off to the side, and I went straight to the post, and so far no problems. The car hasn't shut off on me mysteriously or anything, and guess we'll see what happens in the long run, but it's got a full warranty, so.
Yeah, everything's working fine except the flashers. Emergency flashers are on all the time. Yeah, those bus systems can get very complex, and I'd heard a story about somebody who had tapped into the battery, and it made a sensor go off that made this car think that there was a failing on the bus system, and it just turned into a big thing, and it was because he had connected his power leads directly to the battery. I don't know if you know Anders in our 6H. Anders was up being on our VE team last evening for the exams, and he showed me his install. He has a beautiful install where he's put a head unit up on his dash, and then the radio is in the back. It's a smaller SUV, and the boat is in the back with its own. Down in the tire well, he has a standalone battery that taps in and charges off of his electrical system, and he's also rigged up a remote switch so he can remotely trigger his remote on and off for his radio. It's just a really sweet setup, and so he shared that with me after I had left my radio on last night and came out to leave, and my truck was starting because I left the radio on, and it was in a weak condition anyway. Just really hadn't charged it enough since I drained it down last time. But yeah, he felt compelled to share his beautiful install, and yeah, having a separate battery with a separate charging system, very, very well done.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. That's probably what I would have done if I had kept the Dodge for a more long-term install, but it was two-wheel drive, so I had to get rid of it. My wife's car, this will be the last thing I say, I don't want to tie it up too long, but I'm jealous because my wife has a Jeep Grand Cherokee, and the battery for the car is underneath the passenger seat. So the whole time I'm working on my car, I'm like, man, what I would do to have hers instead. I would have been done in 5 minutes.
Except the question is, what do you have to go through to change that battery? Do you have to remove the passenger seat?
No, Jeep actually was pretty smart about it. Obviously, it's an automatic powered seat, so if you disconnect the battery, it won't move. However, there is a manual lockout, I guess would be the right term, where you can manually push the seat forward, and if the seat goes all the way forward towards the dash, there is ample amount of room to be able to pull it out. No weird angles or anything like that, which is nice, because those old lead-acid batteries are just heavy enough to throw your back out, so it's pretty easy to replace.
That sounds like a good design, and in protected as well. Well, very cool. Yeah, I'm looking at different battery options right now for the RV. It's time to start looking. The lead cells, the AGMs of pretty much, probably get one more season out of them. But then everything that's involved in updating the system and going over to lithium. And then, we have the promise of all the new battery types that are coming along. I just wouldn't be a new adopter for a new battery technology, but I think, it's just going to be a matter of time before we're going to get the cranking power and the longevity and the deep cycling ability, in different battery formulations. So going to be kind of neat, as long as the chargers don't interfere with my radio.
Absolutely. There's a few LiPo4 batteries that are out now that are a mix of both. They have the cold cranking amps and the deep storage capabilities of LiPo4s, so that might be something you want to look into, and they have some pretty good reviews. They've been out for a while.
Yeah, but, I think LiPo4 is, we're midlife on its cycle when you look at some of the new formulations that are coming along. It's going to be interesting. Next 10 so years, what evolves. Well, Chris, you have a wonderful day, and also sometime I want to talk to you and find out about what you're doing with your boat. I come from a boat lifestyle. Used to live aboard down in South Florida on a Irwin, and then I've owned smaller sailboats, and then I crossed over to the Evil and finished out my boating life with a gas powered. Yes, I know. I crossed that line that is never forgiven. But many hours, many days, many months spent on board, and I've gone through the Caribbean doing woodworking on other people's yachts early in my life, and many years, many months at sea. A good life. But a conversation for another day, Chris.
Sounds good. Yeah, I can talk about sailboats all day long, so yes, probably better for a later date. KI6HFP, back to net.
You have a wonderful day, Chris, and thank you for your patience and hanging around to do a little rag chew. But you have a great Tuesday ahead. Clearance KI6HFP. I'm Brian, AI6US. This is the Coffee Break Net on the W6EK Repeater. Let's go ahead and take regular check-ins. Let me know if you're short on time. I'll put you at the top of the list as the in and out. Otherwise, good morning. Welcome to the Coffee Break Net. Taking check-ins.
N9MUF, and if you could put me near Mark's spot, that would be great.
Kilo November 6, November Uniform Foxtrot.
N5TIN, in and out, please.
Alpha Juliet November, short time.
you just threw a suffix. Let's see, KD3. That's your prefix. Okay, KD3AJN. Good morning to you for a quick in and out, and Steve N5TIN for in and out. Good morning, Joshua KN6NUF, and good morning, Daniel N9MUF. Daniel, Mark did not check in. Does this mean where do I put you on a list? I'll be back to you in a moment. We'll find that out. Good morning, Steve. You're up first for a quick in and out. N5TIN. Good morning.
I've acquired a new piece of audio gear. Came yesterday via the friendly FedEx guy. I acquired a set of Sony XM6 noise-canceling headphones, and they are amazing.
SM6 noise-canceling headphones. I'm going to have to look those up. Good story goes along with a pair of noise-canceling headphones. I used to fly a lot. I thought, oh, wouldn't it be great to fly with some noise-canceling headphones? Well, nowhere on the packaging does it say that. It still allows small child crying right through.
Well, that's because some people would say that's a sound of joy, not noise. By the way, the headphones are X-Ray Mic 6, so they're a competitor to the high-end Bose noise-canceling headphones.
Okay. Wireless. Didn't really look them up. What is that? Bluetooth or what? What do they use?
That's Bluetooth. I tested them out when they came yesterday, quite a bit actually, and I had the opportunity to go out to my shop with them on, and when I got out there I fired up the dust collector, and the dust collector in my shop is very large and very noisy. To give you an idea about how large, I think that's a 5 horsepower motor on it, but I couldn't hear it at all.
Very good. Watch out for that semi truck sneaking up on your backside there. All right, those are not an inexpensive set of headphones, and a really nice design, very ergonomic. Looks really nice. Notice any delay or anything on the Bluetooth? That's one thing I've noticed sometimes between different Bluetooth devices. Sometimes, especially if you're using it for contesting, you need to get that timing just right. Bluetooth can be, quite a delay sometimes. But how have you tested that yet?
Well, in a crude way, I paired them with our Samsung television and watched the little television, and I did not notice any delay in the lip sync at all. So I was pretty pleased with that. They are fairly expensive. I did shop them online and found a audio retailer on the West Coast called Moon Audio, and they had a very good price on them. I think they were, somewhere between $50 and $75 off list.
Well, very good. Headphones will make all the difference in the world. I picked up some very well-known high isolation headsets for multi radio environments, and man, my head just they were beautiful, great isolation, but long-term comfort just was not there at all. Well, cool. Congratulations on this, and it will be interesting to see how it works for teamed up with the amateur radio response. Looks like you can tailor the equalization on them, but it'll be kind of interesting to see what you think when you introduce some of the noise and QRM and anything else that can incur in the radio world. So I like your maybe a review somewhere down the line.
I'll be putting them to a good test starting next Monday when we board our flight to go to Europe. So I'll be wearing them for 10 hours. So we'll see how I do. So this is supposed to be a quick one, so I'll keep it quick and leave it with that. And, the one thing about Bluetooth, I wish you could get it standard in HTs. Wouldn't that be amazing? Oh, well. Have a great day, Brian. We'll talk to you later. AI6US and the net, N5TIN. 73, everyone.
And maybe somebody out there can correct me, but I believe Kenwood, for the last couple versions of the Kenwood HTs, had Bluetooth connectability for anybody? Might just be you and I there talking, Steve. I was thinking that the last couple generations of the Kenwoods had Bluetooth built into them. And I remember I used to sell a Bluetooth earpiece with a push-to-talk, and I remember connecting it up with somebody's Kenwood radio, and I don't remember the version of it. But you have a wonderful day, and I'm sure we'll talk before you fly over to Europe. And you have a great one. Thanks, Steve. N5TIN AI6US73. Good morning, Anna. KD3AJN. What do you have for the net this morning?
Good morning, Brian, and everyone else on the net today. Just for your information, the Kenwood 75 has Bluetooth. We have one of those. And not too much else going on here. Just doing some things around the house today, and got a doctor's appointment, and that's about it. So, everyone have a great day. KD3AJN.
Well, thank you, Anna. Yeah, I think one of our club members had experimented with hooking up his 70, I think it was a 75, up to his hearing devices using the Bluetooth connection. And it'd be interesting to hear the review on that one to see how that worked. Well, I hope you had a very wonderful Easter, and thanks for checking in this morning. Always a pleasure to hear you check in. KD3AJN AI6US73. N9MUF. Good morning, Daniel. Is this the right place to plug you in?
It depends on whether you're talking wired or Bluetooth.
Yeah, I sensed a little delay there, so I'll go with Bluetooth. Good morning, Daniel. How was your POTA yesterday?
It was very good, but very definitely hit the chilly side. There was a lot of sunshine up here in Joliet when we left, and we got down there. And I think we had all of 3 minutes of sunshine during the activation. But deciding to do it let me start over again. Deciding to do it during a CW event really paid off. And we were just racking up the contacts, and there were a lot of Fisher people there, and one of them came over and we chatted about radio for a little bit.
Okay, tell us the truth. Did you talk about radio or fishing?
We talked about both. I asked him how his day went, and he asked us how our day was going.
Second outing running CW with your son, and yesterday, it being a contest, it might have been just a little faster exchange, but did he still connect with doing CW?
He was doing just fine. He knew how to follow the frequencies, pick that up, as since we were hunting, not camping, and he had gotten the hang of that. And then I got the rhythm for what he needed for me to give him, to give him the call sign information, and it helped that since it was a CW event, there was no signal report. All they needed was call sign. And let me see. The exchange was date. No, not date.
My brain is definitely on a lack of coffee today. We started, it was name and serial number. So all he needed was the call sign and whether or not we closed the contact.
Not the obligatory 5x9. Yeah, good. Well, cool. I'm glad that you guys had a good activation and put some good numbers in the books. That is great. Always nice when somebody, drops by, shows a little interest, and we got a whole new batch of trifolds for our club members to take out with them, and encourage people that if you ever run into somebody out there, hey, what you doing? Give them a club trifold.
I was sad that since it was during a CW event, I really didn't want to take too much time. Otherwise, I would have gotten him one of my QSL cards and offered to do a radiogram for him. But we knew that we needed to wrap up our activation by the time the event closed up. Since let's just say the CW was getting faster and faster due to the shiver.
Very cool. Well, I just loaded the latest version of Ether SDR for the Flex. They're up to like 8.4 now or something. And it was pointed out to me last night that they have a really neat feature on there. Based on its on the CW decoding, it will actually color code the letters based on its confidence of whether it copied the correct information or not. And the first time I had seen that, maybe you've seen that in other programs, but I thought, how cool on a decoder, that will green light things that it has high level of confidence that it was copied correctly, and then, color code down to maybe or no, didn't catch this one, where a lot of them just throw a lot of figures at you. I was thinking in the back of my mind, would that be kind of cool for like your son trying to follow along and develop his ear with you out there to have that built into a radio. We are in cutting edge now of what I think is going to be built in to radios in the future as far as the neural noise processing and the different digital modes. I think we're entering into a pretty neat time for radio development.
Oh, I absolutely agree. The decoders that I use during contests, they don't give a different color in terms of the confidence, but the letters get darker or lighter depending on the strength of confidence they have. And as I pointed out to him, and I've pointed out to a friend of mine, starting out with a decoder as a backup, it's the equivalent, in my opinion, of having a ham there during your first contact. And oftentimes we've needed the ham to find us that Elmer saying, okay, here's the next thing to do, and here's the next thing to do, and here's the information you need to get from them.
As I've said before, when it comes to CW, I can do good copy if it's conversational text. But when you start getting into the acronyms, the shortcuts, the numbers especially, I just freeze up anytime I hear more than 4 characters or 4 dits and das. I just my mind goes into count. And that's where I really like having a code reader sitting there so I can just look over and see the number and just move on in my brain. So I find it very helpful, but I hope it doesn't become a crutch. Did we have a comment coming in from the East Coast Hub, Fireside? Nope, just a chunk. Back over to you, Daniel.
Even if it is a crutch, my take on it would be that whatever you need to help yourself get started. And I remember my first attempt at a CW contact. I called CW, and it was on 40 meters. Somebody came back to me, and instantly every bit of code that I had went out the window, and having a cheat sheet with me the next time that I tried CW of do this, ask for this, send this, definitely helped me. And having a decoder, part of the problem, I think, with some of the CW events is I can copy between 15 and 20 words a minute. That would be very slow for some of those operators.
Yeah, well, I've turned to CW a couple times when there was a D-Expedition out there that I just definitely wanted to get them in my log. And I knew what their call was. I knew what my call was, and it was kind of funny. The best advice I've received to anybody who said, Brian, just jump in there and do it. They said, but make sure you recognize your own call sign to know when they're coming back to you. I thought that was pretty sage advice.
Oh, it absolutely is. No, my second CW QSO, a friend of mine and I set up a SCAD on 30 meters, and it absolutely helped. Since I knew his call sign, we kind of knew what we were going to be chatting about, and I had a lot more confidence in the exchange than I did that first time out.
Yep. Yeah, the crazy thing is, usually I put myself into situations where I have to use CW. It's not something that I choose. It's just like I want to make a contact with a certain station or, something like that. And so the pressure, it goes on me, and I just, like yourself, I hear a number, I freeze up, and then the rest of the exchange is lost because I'm counting dits and dots, and it's a brain fart. I know it. I also did not excel at playing the piano, for the record. Well, I'm glad to hear you had a great activation yesterday. Hopefully you took enough layering that you got through the chills of the day.
He didn't, so he was a little chilly, and as I predicted, doing CW for an hour, by the time, it was about an hour and a quarter, so by the time the event was winding up, the hand was definitely a little on the chilly side, so I'm going to have to figure out how I can wear something over the hand and still handle the key properly. To me, that's the trick, is having that touch and being able to have something on the hand.
Well, they have some heated gloves that have the touch finger pads, so they're lighter, so you can do screen manipulation, things like that. So, yeah, maybe as long as you don't short circuit in the middle of the park.
Well, then we get a different kind of activation, right?
Suddenly, he just started tapping out a bunch of E's back to back to back to back for about 2 minutes straight till we unplugged him. Well, anything else for the net this morning there, Daniel? Good to hear you on this morning.
It's always great to check into the net. It's my Monday, and it's going fairly well so far. I think except for the conversation with you, the coffee's been working. As usual, little Miss Tappity Bonk, once she heard somebody on the net, she comes over and sits on my lap until my conversation with, whether it's you or Tom or Theta, ends. She knows all of your voices and comes over and sits on my lap and enjoys the conversation. My hope is that I can get the adapter from Elecraft soon. I'd like to join the Bio-Eno crowd and up the outgoing power from 5 watts to 15. I know there's a pride to operating QRP, but at the same time, if you've got to break a pile up during an event, I'd like a little more power under my belt.
You know, pride is a terrible thing, isn't it? Yes, indeed. Just use the minimum power required to make the contact. But, yeah, sometimes it's just nice to make a contact. Well, Daniel, you have a wonderful day, and someday I want you to tell me which net control operator makes the cat purr louder. Something tells me that it's probably Theta, but, I could take the ego stroking myself.
she has a different chirrup for each one of you. I can absolutely, honestly say that.
Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, it's a big with a big old slash of the claw. I'm a big boy. I could take it. Daniel, have a wonderful day until your next moda. I hope some good weather heads your way so you can keep those bikes out for the season. N9, MUF, AI6US, have a great day.
It will be an absolutely great day, and I remember that I wanted to say I absolutely agree with those Sony headphones. I've got 2 sets of them. One a little lower quality than the one the gentleman was talking about. Picked up specifically for CW on the radio, and on Sunday my wife was vacuuming downstairs and the noise canceling worked just fine. So definitely, this one set is wired, but about $60 on Sweetwater, and absolutely worth it. Has a heart for a $450 purchase. I highly recommend the Sony wired noise canceling headphones. 7-3 to you, Brian, and Maeve says 7-3 as well, and 9MUF.
You know, something that I've always carried, as a camera operator, you always want to be monitoring the audio, so it didn't really matter how good a camera shot I was getting. If I wasn't recording good audio, it was my fault. So I always carried, and I still have a pair here at my desk, so comfortable, and I don't even know, hopefully they still make them, but the MDR V250s, just a light over the ear, just enough coverage that blocks some of the noise around you, but they just, great monitoring headphones for their size and everything. I just, everybody has their favorites, and these were ones that just didn't take up a lot of space and gave me, I knew what the sound should sound like. And, I've always had a couple of pairs of Sonys, but this is the one that would ride around and pack and has traveled around the world several times.
They're great radios, or great headphones. We've got different ones in the studio. I can't remember what they were. I'd have to go down and check, but I love the Sonys for operating radio. Again, 7-3 to y'all from us, and 9MUF.
You have a great day, Daniel. N9MUF, AI6US. And Joshua, I see you and the family have booked a spot already for the Stampede Summer Campout, 162 days away. KN6NUF, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. Good morning to the net. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Yeah, we're for our camping trips and things like that. We weren't able to do our annual road trip for Easter week this year because of some other circumstances. But we're looking forward to a lot of camping trips. We're going to hopefully try to make it out to Yosemite this year, and of course the camp out. So yeah, it's getting ready for summer. How you doing?
I'm doing. Thanks for asking. No, I had gotten a notice that the campground reservations had opened up, and I was a little busy getting ready for Hamfest, so I just said, I'll put it off for a couple of days. A couple of days later, the spot that we wanted was gone. We're still going to be in a great spot, but it's kind of like, boy, when the booking season opens, you better be on the ball.
I would be open to swapping. You got a good spot, I noticed, too. So if you like the spot that I'm at, I'm open to swap with you. It's not a big deal to me. I just wanted to make sure that, I was there for the camp out and didn't miss it. We have a lot of fun every year at the camp out. It's a great spot, and everybody makes it a really fun event to come to.
Well, of course, this year we're going to be doing some of the similar things that we've done in the past, movie nights, and going to be bringing up the fox hunting gear, and we're just going to, and relax and s'mores, and hopefully the wildfire season is not going to bother us at all, and hopefully we can have a campfire again this year. Oh, the little things in life that we want and need. Well, good morning to you. What do you have going on this week?
This week it's a lot of work, stuff going on for me, and then the kids don't have school, so it's the challenge of getting them out of bed in the morning and getting them to do their chores and that kind of stuff. So the girls managed to skip out on doing their chores yesterday, so they're going to learn a little bit about Dad's compound interest on chores. So instead of just one chore a day, they're going to have 3 they got to do today, and they're not going to be too happy about it. But they got to learn this lesson, so one of those things that's going to happen. KN6NUF.
Yeah, don't mess with Dad. Well, glad to hear that your car is going to get washed today, and 2 wax jobs, and all the wheels will be shined. Well, I grew up doing chores, and there were repercussions with my mom if the chores were not done. And you just learned that. Yeah, definitely prioritize the mom list before anything else in the world. Well, good morning to you. I hope all is going well with you, and what are you going to be doing for any spring break activities with the kids?
We're going to the park and that kind of stuff. This weekend, cornhole tournament at Bishop's Pumpkin Farm, and they do a big fundraiser for the T-ball, and so we'll be out there watching the tournament and eating some food and things like that. So if you're looking for a country event to come and enjoy, that'll be happening, I believe, on Saturday. I forget the hours. I'll have to look it up and come back to you on that.
Okay, I heard where it was, but my brain didn't register it.
It's at Bishop's Pumpkin Farm right here in Wheatland, California. It's a great little family farm that's been around since the mid-'70s, and they have usually their big event is when pumpkin season is happening around, I believe they open in August or September, and they have a beer garden and train rides and all different kinds of country stuff to enjoy. It's a place here in Wheatland.
No. Went there once, would have gone there more times, but yeah, I was living up in northeast Roseville, and it was just so convenient to zip up there. Did the old pumpkin experience, and did the ride around in the wagon, and their little fun area that was set up there. So yeah, familiar with the experience. Very cool. Well, you guys have a great. You get to throw a couple of the bean bags, or is it just going to be up there to view? The professionals.
We'll be out there to just watch the professionals and that kind of stuff, and eat some food and that kind of stuff, and enjoy some goodies and whatnot. But I was thinking that Bishop's Pumpkin Farm might be a fun place to go and do the fox hunt. Because I know the Bishops pretty well. I could probably talk them into it.
As long as we don't trample their vines. If we do it at the right time of year, maybe it's going to be hidden out there among the pumpkins, and as everyone leaves, they can buy a pumpkin on their way out. It's all about timing. Good idea. Good idea. Well, you guys have a wonderful spring break, and whatever you find to do. It seems like the challenge is they're teenagers, getting them up. That's funny.
Yeah, that's the biggest challenge, but I'm going to take them over here to the park and let them play and stuff and get some time outdoors while I get some work done. So luckily I got a laptop and I can take it with me, and I got my battery, so yeah, I'll be mobile for a little bit. We'll get some sunlight today. KN6NUF. Hope everyone has a great day, and remember to reach out and hug those that you love every chance you get, because you never know when you're going to get that next time. KN6NUF, AI6US, have a great day.
Yeah, absolutely great reminder there, Joshua. And these moments in life scream by pretty darn fast, don't they? Hard to believe we're already into April, well into April 2026. Good morning, Coffee Break Net on the W6EK Repeater. Let's see, the W6EK Repeater, of course, is located in Northern California, but we're on many different repeaters and Many people checking in through All-Star nodes and Echolink. Really glad that you guys decided to join us this morning. We are conversation-based net. We have about a half hour left to go of good conversations before we call it a day. I'm going to go ahead and run through the national days. People said, you don't do the national days anymore. Yeah, I usually just do it right at the beginning, but today is National No Housework Day. So hopefully that one doesn't get used by the kids against Joshua. Celebrate National No Housework Day. Today is Public Television Day. Sesame Street, Nova, Great Performances, Nature, PBS, Frontline, Masterpiece Theater. Yeah, the list goes on and on. National Public Television Day. Today is Metric System Day. It's National Beer Day. How are you going to celebrate that one? National Coffee Cake Day. That sounds really good, but I didn't prepare in advance for that one, so but it gives me an idea of what I might have tomorrow. And somebody tell me, when did they start calling newspapers snail papers? I'd never heard that term before, but in two places on today's National Days list, International Snail Papers Day. Yeah, that's what they're calling newspapers now. Gosh, I feel old. Good morning, Coffee Break Net on the W6EK Repeater. Let's take some more check-ins. Who's out there?
N2 DYI.
SM6XGP recheck. In and out.
KB6CD, quick in and out.
All right, we have three takers in that round. Good morning, Ed. KB6ED for in and out. Good morning to Tony again for in and out. We'll get you at the top of the list. And good morning, good after morning to Patrick in 2 DYI. Let's see up first. Tony, good morning to you. I realized you were probably headed home when you checked in before. Good morning for the net.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. And meow to the cats who are listening. SM6XGP here. No, I was my way to get a haircut, so I was a little bit in a hurry, and I didn't look at the clock, and the clock went away very fast, and I have to run. So I had to leave you. Yeah, over here we have had a nice Easter weekend. Besides the weather, that was terrible. On this Sunday, we had winds about 30 meters in the second. I don't exactly know how much in kilometers per hour that is. I think that's the measurement you have over there. But it was very, very windy and rainy and terrible weather. And a lot of trees was thrown away around, and some roofs are lifted off houses, and that was terrible weather. So I was inside, and I took all my antennas inside from the window, and play with SDRs and my regular snows and all that cool stuff. Yeah, other than that, nothing really special going on. I was joining the All Nodes Net, and yesterday your time I was awake at that silly o'clock in the morning here. So that's what's going on over here, Brian. Back to you, AR6US SM6XGP.
Well, roughly that windstorm translated into 70 mile an hour. That's definitely enough to take down some antennas, that is for sure. But yeah, I wonder how many Easter eggs blew away. So is that a thing over in Sweden to hiding Easter eggs? I mean, is this something that is more unique to us, or what traditions are around Easter?
It depends a little bit from which area you come from. But over here in Gothenburg area, yeah, they play games like that. They hiding eggs and paint eggs, and they also have, I don't know what they call it, but some kind of game that they roll around eggs and try to put each other's eggs aside, and they are a big mess of trashed eggs, I think. But so that's a nice little thing for here. And we have a friend at work. She made a little funny thing, and she put up some small chickens everywhere, in drawers, in shelves, and on doors, behind the doors, everywhere she put them. And we have to guess how many it was. And that was a very fun thing to do. So for folks running around at work and look everywhere to see if they can find those small chickens hiding everywhere. It was very fun. And I think she said there was 97 or something of them, but the one that came closest have found 70, I think. So it was a lot of chickens everywhere. Dead, of course.
I don't know about dead. Let's rephrase that. Maybe stuffed chicks or something like that. Well, that sounds like a highly productive work day. Well spent hours at work. Well, very good. Yeah, some of the things here that you run into an event, hidden eggs in the park, of course, and then the raw egg toss, where you move further and further apart and toss the egg and try to catch it without breaking it. That can be messy fun. And the one where you try picking up an egg with a spoon held in your mouth and your teeth and then run with it. That one never seemed too safe with me. Running with an egg balanced on a spoon in your mouth, good tumble. wouldn't end too well, but well, very good. Hey, thanks for checking in this morning, Tony.
That's very fun to run with eggs like that. We always did that when I was a kid. That was very funny. Yeah. So I think they have other plays they do around the country. It's quite a change from where you come from, and it's very nice. It was a good weekend. I was visiting some friends on a Saturday before the stupid wind come. So it was very nice. Some food and chit-chatting. That's cool. Yeah. So that's a little report from here. And today the sun was out. The wind was a little bit blowing. I don't know about the fishes, but I think they're jumping. Hey, I6US 73 from SM6XGP.
You have a wonderful day there, Tony, or a wonderful evening, and thanks for checking in. Always great to hear you in here. SM6XGP, AI6US. Hey, good morning, Ed. KB6ED.
Good morning, Brian and the net. It's beautiful out here. I'm circling Clear Lake, headed to Sacramento for Taco today. I have some joy in my day later. I'm getting a molar on bottom back left. It's been giving me grief for a while. I went in to see about a root canal. They said no, not a good chance of good results. And so it's going to get an implant, but I've been dealing with a toothache, kind of suffering through. I got an appointment later today to have the tooth. I'm really hoping they'll yank the tooth out. But anyway, yeah. So to ward off scurvy, I like to squeeze some lime into my draft Pacifico when I get some good Mexican food. And Foster's Lager, that's a refreshing treat. I mean, Foster's Either the Foster's or the Lager.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed a Foster's. You know, if you need to grab something in a can, that or a Modelo, wouldn't catch me dead with with a Bud Light or something like that. No political reasons behind that. I just the taste. It was funny. When I lived down in South Florida, quite often people would give you a tip, and you know, one of the common tips after you're done doing a job for them, I was doing cable repair and that sort of thing early on, and they would give you a beer. You know, oh, you look hot, here, have a beer. And we used to have a collection. At the end of the week, we would share how many beers we got and didn't drink. And there's a label out there called Black Label. And we would always have at the end of the week, how many Black Label cans of beer were given to you as a tip? I don't think adding a lime to that would have ruined the lime.
I remember when I was in the Air Force, we were rather snooty about the beer drink, and Lowenbrau was the choice at the time, but there was a reference to those beers, the Buds and the Coors, and people would say, "No thanks, I don't want to get the greens."
You know, I was in the industry for a little bit, and we always would joke that our taps were hooked directly up to the urinals. That highly we thought of it.
Well, that's all I got for you, Brian. Great listening to the net, enjoying it. I'm gonna lose you here when I go into the mountains over 20, but and I think by the time I come out on the other side near 5, it'll be after we close out the net. So anyway, thanks for getting me in. KB6ED 73.
Well, Taco Tuesday to you. Hello to your dad. I'm sure that's what you're heading down here to spend a day or two with him. So have a wonderful day there, Ed. And yes, indeed, good Fosters. And you know, I think you said you did that to avoid scurvy. But you know, whenever I went to Mexico, I would never have any stomach ailments, and every meal would be a small bowl of limes and just squeeze it on everything and just put it in every drink, and even just kind of bite down on a couple of them, and just took a lot of lime juice, and I think that kills about any bacteria. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Drive safe, Ed. KB6ED AI6US 73. Hey, good morning, after morning, Patrick. And yes, indeed. Hopefully, you had a great net last evening. What do you have for us today?
Good morning from the land of afternoon, Brian, and everyone else on the net. Yeah, the net was pretty good last night. We again went way over. That tends to happen when I run it. No matter how I try, we went over by almost half an hour. So the net ended at about 10:25 my time. And yeah, it was a good net last night. I used my T-Mobile 5G gateway, and I couldn't tell the difference, really. It was solid. Actually, I'm kind of, interestingly, we have the other ISP here is Lumos Fiber. It's a fiber ISP which is now owned by T-Mobile, and I am actually liking the T-Mobile wireless option better than the fiber one. It's faster, and it's more predictable. Go figure that one.
So did you bundle this T-Mobile hotspot with another account? I've just seen some tremendous pricings, when you bundle a Verizon or a T-Mobile out here.
It's an entirely separate thing. So right now I'm paying for the T-Mobile thing just as its own standalone device, and they had a deal. You could get it for $20 off a month, so it's it's actually $30 a month for what they're calling reliable internet, unlimited. So that's what I have, at least for now. I don't know if I'll keep it because, I'm just not sure yet. They have a 15-day trial. You can send it back and not ever get charged for anything within 15 days. So I'm still within that period.
Yeah, I had done that test run a couple years ago, and it just did not work, unfortunately, here in Meta Vista. Just a wasteland for some companies, and T-Mobile was one of them. Not bad deal, though. $25, I think you said $25 special per month. How long would that special last, that pricing?
Yeah, it's $35 a month. Depending on if you have a credit card or a debit card, you can save a little more money if you use a debit card for auto pay. Because they always do that sort of stuff. But yeah, I don't know how long it lasts. It'll probably go up to $55 a month eventually. But even so, that's about the same as what the other one costs per month right now. And like I said, I'm actually, I've done some experiments with it since yesterday, and I'm kind of liking the wireless option a little better, which is weird. Latency's not bad. There are the routes, some of the routes to some places are a little less than optimal. I think I get a better, sometimes anyway. If I'm going to servers on the West Coast, it goes a little better on the fiber ISP than it does on the mobile provider. Less latency, less jitter, that sort of thing. But for the most part, just for everyday use and just downloading stuff and streaming things and all that, it's working fine.
I know a question that you had was, what would it be during peak usage? So I know you just got the device, but anything noticeable during peak usage hours last evening?
Yeah, my download speed dropped a little bit. I could only get about 450 to 500 megs a second instead of 700. Oh man, darn.
Oh, I'm glad to hear you worked through those trials. Remember when we were happy just to get that measured in KBS? Now we're in the GBS. It's incredible the speeds, and you would think the scaling on this stuff and the routing and everything it's a fine-tuned machine, pretty amazing.
Yeah, I'm more impressed than I expected to be with this so far. Like I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it. Weirdly, I got this to test to use it as a backup. That might turn into a primary. I wasn't expecting that.
I'm keeping an open mind. I've been very happy. StarLink is the first reliable internet service that we've had since we lived in this area for, 14 years now. And for the last 2 years, it's just darn reliable. Got our latency now down to typically below 25 millisecond. Nice jitter numbers, sometimes sub 10. Quite often we'll see it in the 6 or 7 range if it's there. Sometimes it's just flat. It's just a wonderful service. But, I'm keeping my eye. Their terrestrial would be a preferred route for me. But I'm not going to rush out and just grab something because it will save me $20 a month.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially in a place like where you are, reliability is key. And here the options are cable through Spectrum, which is just terrible, and everybody hates it. Goes down all the time. It's not great when it works. The typical sort of saturated cable area. And then Lumos Fiber, which is the fiber ISP here that got bought by T-Mobile recently. And they started out great. When my parents first moved to 2017, they were absolutely fantastic. Then they got bought, then they got sold, then they got bought again and sold again twice. And they just every acquisition, it's kind of just gone downhill, and it's just, they just do some really odd things that don't really make any sense. I don't know. It's just a lot of inefficient use of infrastructure, I think.
Well, they're mostly owned by buyouts, and they just package it up and sell it to somebody else. The less maintenance means less money out of their pockets, more profit when they get rid of it. We've seen a sale of a infrastructure in our area probably 5 times over since I've moved here. Kind of crazy. Interesting how something you thought would be a backup could actually become the primary. We're going to be some of this rural internet monies are coming our way, and they're talking about what they're going to do with it. Unfortunately, they're giving a lot of the money over to the cable provider who has sucked through the years to bring a fiber in, and I'm just going, oh man. Here, let's dress that fox up in a hen outfit and send it into the house there. But no, really happy with StarLink, but not going to be a StarLink fanboy. I just enjoy it because it is reliable, and it's more expensive than I would like it to be, but hey, it's reliable.
Well, at the end of the day, you just have to use what works, unfortunately, for many reasons sometimes. But yeah, wolf in sheep's clothing and all that. Indeed. But yeah, last night we had a good all nodes net. Tony, is a good thing Tony was around, because we got a question about SVX Link, which I think he was pretty much about the only person who could answer. What is SVX Link? And that comes from his part of the world. SM0 SVX developed that system. And it has some audio advantages over AllStarLink. It's a lot more difficult to implement, and it's pretty popular in places that are not here. It seems like it's pretty big in Europe, and I guess it's got a following in Australia, and I don't really know anybody in North America that's using it.
So is that just because we typically use the formats that our friends already are using?
I guess that's what it is. I don't really know, but it is. I looked at it years ago. It is definitely a little. It's a little. Well, it's certainly not as friendly and as easy to install and get running as ASL3 or HamVoIP or any of those things. It's got a big experimenter vibe going on, so you kind of have to be, I guess, of a certain mindset to really get into it. And it's very open architecture, and it's kind of like, here's a bunch of tools, go build a box to live in, sort of thing.
Okay, well, I'm following along. I really haven't heard much additional information out there about the ASL substitute. I just drew a blank here that Bruce is working on. I haven't heard much more about that lately. Don't know about how the development's going, but it's always interesting when these things come along. Because you need to have some momentum, a user group behind it to really get it beyond the neat. Hey, that's neat.
I haven't heard a peep out of Bruce in 2 weeks. I hope he's okay. Usually he'll post something every couple of days. Here's kind of an update. Here's what's going on. Last I heard from him, I sent him a couple of bug reports for the Parrot server. I was using it for the program function that he put in there that I asked him to put in, and he did, and it had some issues, and he said he would work on it. That was a little over 2 weeks ago, and I haven't heard a thing from him since then.
Yeah, certainly hope things are okay with him. And yeah, it just seemed, it might be one of those things. Some folks, it's exciting as they delve into something, but then it gets into the mundane of doing the little tweaks and doing those little things that will finalize a project. So I just don't know him well enough to know. But it looks like he has quite a few projects under his belt, so I wouldn't assume that would be the case. Well, good morning to you there, Patrick. Glad to hear that it was a successful All Nodes Net last evening. And, yeah, sounds like you have the right mix of questions and folks that can be there to provide the answers. So good to hear that Tony staying up till 3 a.m. his time paid off for us.
3 a.m. sometime is the best time of the day. Oh, man. When I worked regularly, I very often would make it a point to work at in the wee hours of the morning because there were no distractions from other people in the house and other things going on. It was a nice, quiet, good time to get stuff done. So, yeah, I've always, if I can, with that sort of thing, I will always take working at night if I can get away with it. So yeah, there's something about 3 in the morning. So definitely glad he was awake for that. Anyway, Brian, I'll let you go and get some more check-ins before the net ends. It wouldn't really, I guess, work too well if you get them after the net ends. So I'll let you do that before that. And I'll say 7-3 for now. Have a good one. AI6US and 2DYI.
Your logic just leaves me stunned. You have a wonderful day, Patrick. Always a pleasure to chat with you. And we'll talk again soon, I'm sure. Clear within 2DYI. Good afternoon to you. Hey, this is the Coffee Break Net on the W6EK Repeater. Just a reminder that this, first of all, tomorrow is going to be the In the Shack. So In the Shack is an opportunity to go over to the Zoom room and share projects that you're working on in and about your shack. So if you're interested in seeing what some other folks are doing in their shack, projects they're working on, drop on by In the Shack. That's tomorrow evening, 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. Usually goes for about an hour, hour and a half. And how do you find the shack? Well, just head on over to our club website. That's W6EK.org, Whiskey6EchoKilo.org, and click on Join Zoom Meeting. And there will be many people in the shack tomorrow evening in the Zoom room. Now, let's see, this upcoming Friday, is going to be the club meeting. Whether you come in person or are not in the area and attend via the Zoom, we are going to have a great presentation by WA8 MPA Jim on common mode. And looking forward to that presentation. Jim always does a really good job of bringing things down to the layman's level. So this Friday evening, 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, you can either join us at the Placer County HHS Conference Center. That's up here in Auburn, California, at the Auburn DeWitt Center. Or you can join us on Zoom. Once again, W6EK.org, and click on the Join Zoom Meeting. That's 7:30 p.m. coming up a few days from now on April 10th. Mark your calendar, coming up about 1 month away, donuts and coffee in the park. Doesn't that sound good? Yes, we will get together and we will devour donuts. We will coffee. We will maybe bring out our POTA setups and operate from the park. Maybe show off your truck or your car install, or maybe your Go Kit. Bring it out. Donuts and coffee in the park, going to be May 9th. That's Saturday, May 9th, 9 a.m. at the Auburn Recreation Park at the Picnic Pavilion. And maybe bring out some antennas, portable antennas, whatever. But yeah, it's Coffee Break Net and Sierra Foothills Amateur Radio Club. We will be serving you coffee and donuts. It's a fun social time. We've done this now. I think this is going to be our 5th year doing this. So it should be a fun way to spend your Saturday morning on May 9th at 9 a.m. Well, with that, I brought us up to the top of the hour in 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're at the top of the hour. Let's go ahead and take for the log check-ins. Please spread them out. We'll get you in the log and get you on your way. This is the Coffee Break Net on the W6EK Repeater.
Kilo Oscar 6, Indy Hotel Juliet for the log.
Whiskey Alpha 6, Bravo Mike for the log.
W8LDT, Tim, Michigan Mobile for the log. Good morning, Brian.
WB7, UKX for the log.
KI6TC for the log.
Kilo Delta 6, Hotel Oscar, November. Thanks, Brian.
One more time. KN6, SSP for the log. Morning, Brian.
You mean I'm actually going to be able to get out of here and have breakfast at a reasonable hour? You guys are too kind. SSP, you are in the log. Good morning, KD6HON. I think yesterday I called you by the wrong name, but today I'll call you Joe. Good morning. Yeah, I know, that just stuck in my head for some reason. Good morning, Glenn. KI6TC. Happy Taco Tuesday to you. And let's see, good morning to Dick, WB7UKX. Good morning, and you are in the log. Good morning to Tim, W8LDT. Tim, you are in the log. Happy Tuesday. And let's see, KO6IHJ, Larry, you are in the log. Good morning to you. And WA6, Bravo Mike. I'm going to have to look this call up, but I think that's a new call sign to me. Name and location.
Good morning, Brian. This is Raymond, WA6BBM. Thank you very much. And 73.
Hi, Raymond. Yeah, we chatted before. I apologize. I'll get that call sign stuck in my head sooner than later, and it got you in the log. You have a wonderful day. All right, let's do one last call for the log. This is the Coffee Break Net on the W6EK Repeater, connected nodes and repeaters. Get your call in the log.
Good morning, Brian. KG6NLW for the log.
Kilo Echo 6, Juliet Echo Mary for the log. 73 out.
Oh, I didn't see me pull up there. KG6NLW for the log.
KE8 PDO, Finn in Michigan, mobile.
All right. You know, I did not catch the prefix on that, but 8 PDL. I know you're riding along there with Rick, aren't you? Did I copy that call wrong? Something question mark 8, Papa Delta Lima?
Along with W8LDT in Michigan.
And I doubled all over the top of you there. Yeah, riding along with Rick there. Good to hear you in again. Would you give me your prefix one more time, please, and I'll get you in the log correctly. Good morning. For some reason, we're not hearing any transmission there, but Papa Delta Lima, you have a wonderful day. Got you in the log. And good morning to Frank, KG6 in LW. Got you in the log, Frank. You have a great day ahead. Good morning to John, KE6JEM. You are in the log. And then I heard a station. I recognized the call, but you didn't throw out a call sign. Was that Brian, HPZ, but no call sign? Well, parts of me wonder if the system broke. No, everything looks like it's connected up right and working. Let's see, one more call. See, is there anybody else out there for the log? AI6US, Coffee Break Net.
This is KE8PDO, Kilo Echo 8, Papa Delta Oscar. This is Finn in Mobile in Michigan for the log.
There we go. I copied you that time. KE8PDO. And you have a wonderful day there, Sin, and great to have you check in. Good morning. Anybody else for the log?
Brian, give it about 30 seconds. There's someone that wants to check in. They just have to set the offset real quick.
Dun, 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 dun. Ooh, somebody going to turn me into the FCC? Please don't. I apologize. All right, let's put out another call, and I'll be patient. We'll wait for somebody to pound in a CTCSS. Good morning, Coffee Break Net. Any more taker for the log? Dun, 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 dun. How many notes do I hum before I get in trouble and get turned in? Good morning, Coffee Break Net on the W6EK Repeater. And we'll do one more call for any takers.
KD9HPZ for the log.
Good morning, Brian.
There we go, Brian. Got a call sign out of you that time.
Jose,
and it looks like I'm doubling with somebody. Looks like I doubled with K6SNJ. Was that, did I double with somebody there? All right, nothing heard. Frank, did I give this person enough time to get that CTCSS in there? AI6US, Coffee Break Net.
Well, I'll just come up over him. I'll just come right up over him. Yeah, that was him trying to check in there, Brian.
Okay, well, quite noisy, but your signal is making it, but the voice wasn't. Where are they coming in from?
Oh, that's Mitch, WU1Q, down there in Valley Springs on an HT.
Oh, okay. Valley Springs on an HT. That would be quite the haul. Well, we heard him key up, but that was about it. All right. Good morning, Mitch. Have a wonderful day. Last call for the log. Any takers? Coffee Break Net on the W6EK Repeater and connected nodes and repeaters.
KB6LUV, super fast recheck, Brian.
K6 BSY, Kilo 6 Bravo Sierra Yankee.
Good morning, Chef. Thank you for checking in. K6BSY. Yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day ahead. And then there was a recheck, somebody risking my health, holding my bladder, KB6LUV. Sounds like a guilt trip your grandmother would have put on you. What you got for us, Brett?
Real quick, Brian, the link on the calendar, W6EK, the event calendar, seems the link to, I was trying to go to see about registering for camping, and it seems like the link to the calendar is broken. That is all. KB6LUV. Go take care of food and bladder. 73.
Yeah, I don't maintain the website, but I don't know what link you're talking about. Sorry.
The events calendar on W6EK.org.
Yeah, I see that. If you could reach out to Smitty, you might get to it before I do. But yeah, something weird's going on. It looks like it's in debug mode. I had heard earlier he was having a little trouble syncing up the calendar, so maybe something Smitty's working on. But if you would, reach out to Smitty, please.
Roger, will do. Thanks again, Brian. KB6LUV, 73, clear.
Hey, Brett, just for information, Brett, I already sent that to Smitty. I saw that earlier, so he should have that in his messages already.
Yeah, you and I were talking at the same time, and I didn't notice until I looked up at Supermon. What was that?
Oh, just for you and Brett. I sent that to Smitty already this morning, so he should be aware of it.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Yeah, I see it broken in a couple places here. Yeah, he was having trouble syncing up. I had sent him over a notice that we had a extra class continuing on the calendar that was no longer on the calendar. And he said, yep, something updated, something broke. All right, with that, a look at the inner workings behind the curtain. Good morning. Coffee Break Net on the W6EK Repeater. Going to go ahead and wrap up the net for this Tuesday morning. And everyone, you have a wonderful, wonderful day ahead. Coffee Break Net, of course, is where the sun is always shining, the birds are singing, and the fish are jumping. This net has been sponsored by the Sierra Foothills Amateur Radio Club. We're here every day of the week, 7:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. Except mark your calendar, we're not going to be here on April 25th. That's Saturday the 25th. Priority usage of the repeater for that weekend will be given to the Canyons Endurance Run. And you can listen in if you're on the internet, but we are going to limit traffic to local RF traffic only for the duration of the event. So we'll have a coffee break net on Friday the 24th, no coffee break on the 25th, and coffee break will be back on Sunday the 26th and 27th. But we are going to be giving priority usage of the repeater outside of the coffee break times to the Western States Endurance Run. Good morning, everyone. Have a wonderful day ahead. We'll catch you again tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. Pacific Time. That's 1430 to 1700 UTC. Everyone, have a wonderful day. Thanks for being part of today's conversation, and we'll catch you again tomorrow. I'm Brian, AI6US, returning the W6EK repeater and connected repeaters and nodes back to normal operation, whatever that might be. 7-3.